unit. And today one interesting topic, that organization and management of instructional functions, we'll see that is in the 8th unit of our training methodology syllabus. So in the previous class, what we have discussed about the definition of test, which is a tool for evaluation, and what are the advantages of tests for the trainees and the trainer and the institution and parents. We have seen. Then assessment means what, and evaluation means what, and what are the difference between assessment and evaluation, and the types of tests being conducted by our system, format evaluation and summate evaluation. We have seen all those topics. And today, one more interesting topic that is coming into unit 8, that is organization and management of instructional functions. So let us see the objectives of the content. That means after completion of this session, what you will be able to achieve. Let me show the slideshow. Yeah. So as per the schedule, today's topic is organization and management of instructional functions. Then in that, the learning outcome will be manage the training facilities and follow 5S quality parameters in housekeeping. This is the very important learning outcome of the unit. Manage the training facilities and follow 5S quality parameters in housekeeping. So this is the very important learning outcome of this topic. And in that particular instruction objectives, what you will be able to achieve after completion of the session. The particular learning outcome or the instructional objectives which you will be able to achieve after the session are: first one, training and managerial responsibilities. these things. Hello.
Sir, your voice.
Check. Hope now you can hear me. Workshop management and housekeeping, 5 years quality concepts and safety measures. So these are the important instructional objectives which will be achieved through this session. So let us see what is the management first. What is management? Management is not only related to the private company or a small organization. It is applicable for any organization, where you will find, a hierarchy starting from the number 1 person, number 2, 3, 4, like that to the bottom of the officials. So this everything will be managed by a group of people or managers, and all those managers will be managed by the directors and the chairman of the institution. So even our institute or training environment also, it has to be managed properly by the instructors and the administrative members. So let us see the training institute management. Management is an art and science, as it involves application of skills and knowledge developed through experimental and observation. So management itself, it's an art as well as a science, because there are a lot of skills are required to manage, and also the knowledge also required to manage the people, manage the machine, material, and manpower. So that is a detail about the management. Then the organizing role of an expert and the teachers are to make arrangement and develop an orderly structure to combine all elements in classroom processes into a unified way. You see, arrangement, orderly structure, and unified way are underlined. So these are all, you can say, keywords, key terms. We have to arrange. Suppose we are in the theory classroom, means we have, we should have trainees, and for the trainees, they need desks, furnitures to sit, and tools and equipments needed to impart theory lectures, and various visual aids we will use for that, electricity, everything is required. So for arranging everything, it is an important responsibility of an instructor. So he has to manage everything and check everything is in an orderly manner. So orderly structure, it has to be seen. Then unified way, it should be in a unified way, appropriate way. So that is the organization structure. And well organizing is closely associated with systematic planning. So if we plan systematically, we will deliver a lecture, and if we plan systematically the demonstration, then we will demonstrate the skill properly. We have discussed detailedly in the planning of instruction chapter. So the importance of planning we have seen. Like that, in managerial responsibility also, a very important element is planning. And planning is conceived with the identification of appropriate activities. So we have so many activities in delivering, learning, teaching, learning process. We have to procure the raw materials, we have to procure tools, equipments, and consumable items, and all the items has to be maintained by an instructor, and we have to issue the raw materials or consumables to the trainees, and we have to maintain the registers, consumable registers, and all. So everything has to be maintained properly in an appropriate manner. So organizing is concerned with making arrangements and structuring the classroom to implement classroom activities. So we have tools and equipments, we have the trainees. Next step is we have to organize, we have to impart the training, theory training activities, and the practical demonstration activities. So in a structured manner. So these are the management and organizing of institutional activities related to theory and practical. So the role of an teacher as an organizer is to link planning with all other roles of communicating, motivating, and controlling. So we have discussed in the first unit the role and responsibilities of an instructor. There are three important roles: as a manager, as a trainer, and as a student. So as a student, an instructor has to update and upgrade the knowledge and skill properly. And also as a teacher or as a trainer, he has to impart theory lessons and he has to demonstrate the practical skills. And the first one we have seen is manager. As a manager, he has the responsibility to manage the training activities, related to theory means he has to prepare various instructional materials. If it is related to practical means he has to prepare the practical demonstrations and required tools and equipments, or everything is working in proper working condition, and anything is required, it has to be kept ready. So all these are manager's role. And also he has to maintain the tools and equipments available with him. For example, computer trade instructor means he has with his custody, there may be 10 or 20 computer systems may be there, 1 or 2 printers may be there. So to maintain the computer system, he has to have one UPSs for individual systems, or a big capacity UPS. So everything has to be checked properly, time to time it has to be shut down properly, and everything is maintained properly periodically, or annual maintenance contract also there. So we can call the hardware engineers time to time and check the systems properly. So these are as a manager, an instructor's role is to manage the training activities properly. Apart from taking the attendance regularly and checking the attendance of the trainees who are all coming properly, and somebody is not coming properly, then we have to inform to the parents. We have standard format for that to inform the parents. So all are as a manager's role. Instructor plays manager's role. Next point, we will see the organizing role of an expert and teacher are to make arrangements and develop an orderly structure to combine all elements in classroom processes into a unified way. So this we have discussed. Then well organizing is closely associated with systematic planning. So systematic planning will achieve 50% of result, or more than 50%. If we plan well, then the achievement will be very easy. Then planning is concerned with appropriate activities. Organizing is concerned with making arrangements and structuring the classroom to implement classroom activities. The role of a teacher as an organizer is to link planning with all other roles of communication, motivation, and controlling. So when we impart training, we will motivate the trainees by telling the purpose of learning. At the same time, to communicate, to demonstrate, to impart the theory classrooms. Along with that, management is very important. Managing managerial capacity is very important. So he or she has to manage the training activities properly. Let us see what are the ways we can manage the training activities or training institutions properly. Training and managerial responsibilities. So this training and managerial responsibilities includes few important elements. For any concept, you have some elements or descriptions. In the same manner, for training and managerial responsibilities also, we have some important elements which we have to follow. One is planning, then organizing, then develop training methods, then develop knowledge, skill, and attitude, then curricular and co-curricular activities, and maintain standard and monitor the performance. So these are the training and managerial responsibility of an instructor. So as an instructor, we have training activity and also managerial responsibility. Training activity means what we will do. We will plan for theory, we will plan lesson plan, and for practical, we will plan demonstration plan. And also other than teaching theory and practical, we have to conduct the tests, monthly tests or weekly tests. Time to time we have to conduct tests, and the tests also we have to evaluate systematically and measure the performance of the trainees, and everything has to be recorded. So these are all coming under planning and organizing. Then developing training methods. See, developing training instructional methods or instructional aids, written instructional materials. Day before yesterday we have discussed. So there are a lot of instructional materials has to be prepared by an instructor. Few ready-made items are available. It is a very important responsibilities of an instructor. By considering the entry behavior of the learners, an instructor has to prepare instructional materials to motivate the learners. So developing training methods, and we have to adopt so many methods. Sometimes we may give a lecture about some topic. Sometimes we will demonstrate about some topic, and sometimes we have to take them to the respective place. If it is an industry, we have to take industrial visits. Then only they will have the real, feel of an industry, how they are functioning, what are the sections are there, how in the input, process, output of the industry, and also developing knowledge, skill, and attitude. This KSA stands for knowledge, skill, and attitude. That is the important definition for training. To develop the individual's knowledge, skill, and attitude only, the systematic process of training is important. So that is also one of the important responsibilities. Then curricular and co-curricular activities. See, we will teach theory and we will teach demonstration. At the same time, we also have that employability skills to be taught. So employability skills is very important, because after gaining the knowledge and after gaining the skill, they have to get employment. That is a very important move of our skill ecosystem. So after gaining the knowledge in the particular trade, after gaining the skill from the respective trades, they have to get job in the respective industries, or they can start their own business. For that, they have to cultivate, or they have to develop some skills which are related to co-curricular activities. So along with the training activities, while imparting the training theory and practical, it is the foremost responsibility of an instructor to develop the soft skills like communication skills, interview techniques, and stress management, time management skills, and the interpersonal relationship skills. Everything we have to develop. That and all coming in a co-curricular activities. Sometimes recreation sports activities we can conduct, and we can also send them to library for reference. So these are all yoga classes. Weekly once we can conduct every trade. One day we can call yoga masters and we can conduct yoga sessions. So these are all coming in the co-curricular activities along with our training activities. Then maintain standard and monitor the performance. See, there are standards to be maintained, norms to be followed, and based on the norms and standards only, our training activities, input, process, and the output. Input, we will get the syllabus and curriculum, and the process, how to deliver the lecture, how to follow the contents, the informations related to the subject are available in the book, reference book, which has been published by NIMI for CTS as well as the CITS trade. And the output is the final trade test, and also format evaluation. We have the records, and that has to be submitted for final assessment. That summative evaluation is being conducted by our DGT with NCVT and certified by NCVT. So to get the NCVT certificate, there are so many standards are involved. For theory means you have to score some percentage. For practical means they have to score some percentage. All are standards, so they have to get that. And also this final trade test, theory test will be conducted based on the multiple choice questions. So that and all we have to find out. These are all uniformity across the country. These are all coming in as standards. And monitor the performance. We have to conduct a monthly test to develop the to test the knowledge and skills. They should have confidence to face the final trade test. So if we are not conducting any monthly tests, so one fine day, if the trainees are going for writing the final trade test, then they will have the fear, that exam fear will be there, and they will forget. They tend to forget their knowledge, skill which they have gained. So we have to, every time to time, we have to conduct the tests. Then only they will feel as a test also. It's a part of the training learning activity. So we have to attend the test to understand our performance and our level of learning, like that. So these are all monitoring the training activities. activities. So maintaining standards and monitoring performance of the trainees are these training and managerial responsibilities of an instructor. So next let us see the managerial responsibility. So that is first one is the training responsibility, and next one is managerial responsibility. Again, see, every time I used to tell, whenever we discuss these training methodology units, every unit, we have totally 14 units in the training methodology syllabus. Every unit has link with each other. Again, you see, this is organizational management and institutional function, and it has link with so many units like written instructional materials, planning and preparation, and also role of an instructor. So in the first chapter, we have discussed detailedly about the role as a manager. What is the role of an instructor? So we have seen maintenance is very important responsibility of an instructor. So he has to maintain, as we have seen in the previous slides, man, machine, material. And material in the sense raw materials or consumable items. Machinery, there are standard equipments will be there, or machinery equipment, machinery items will be there in the standard list of the trade, and that has to be procured to systematically conduct the training activities. So that equipments, tools or equipments or machinery items has to be maintained by the respective instructors, because our for very important responsibilities to impart training. So while imparting training, we will have theoretical, theory. For teaching theory, we have some equipments like whiteboard, marker pen, or chalkboard, chalkpiece, duster, and all, along with LCD projector and computer, speakers, and all. For practical, we have different kind of setup. For example, for engineering trades, you have heavy equipments like drilling machine, milling machine, and lathe machine, and all. For garment related facilities technology trainees, you have sewing machines. For that also mechanical machines are there, and electrical machine, power machines also there, embroidery machines are there. So many machinery items are there. So all the equipments and machinery items has to be maintained properly by an instructor. So it is the responsibility, it is the managerial responsibility as the of the instructor. Manage. He has to manage. She has to manage her own equipment, her own machinery items which are available in her own trade or in his trade. So maintenance is very important. Then instructor role. Again, you have to manage the system, you have to manage the training activities, trainees you have to manage, and you have to prepare weekly schedule, monthly schedule, and all. And at the same time, how you can manage your equipments. Sometimes you have to maintain after the class hour or while doing your demonstrations, sometimes the equipment may not work. So you have a very important role to correct it. You try to solve the problem, otherwise you have to call the technician or the respective service engineers properly. That is also one of the very important managerial role of an instructor. Then optimum use of resources. So you have a lot of resources with you. You have trainees who are going to learn your skills and knowledge, and you have equipments with you, tools and equipments, and raw materials you have with you, and also consumable items with you. So there are a lot of items which is available for training activities. So when you use the raw materials and consumable items, you have to think, you should have the responsibility to use the items or the consumable raw materials in an economical manner. Economically, you have to use. So optimum use of resources means, we have to use properly, systematically, and effectively. That is the meaning of optimum use of resources. So man, machine, money also. So you need money for conducting short-term courses. You have to procure raw materials for for the particular topic. For that, you have to use economically, and you have to plan how much you require like that, so that you can in a in a request note or a duplicating book, you will write that these are the items need to be procured to conduct the short-term course. And you have 20, 40 numbers of trainees. And for them, see, regular course, you have regular or standard equipments, tools, raw materials and all. For conducting any new course or short-term course or tailor-made course, you have to plan for expenditure. That is the money and machine and man. And you have to manage all those things. 3M, man, machine and money. And that is also important responsibility, managerial responsibility of an instructor. Then classroom management, you have to manage the classroom. In classroom, you have to plan and control and communicate. These are the important managerial responsibility in classroom activities. So classroom means it should be cleaned properly, and all the items or furniture should be kept in an orderly manner and also maintained properly, dust free, free from oil and other slippery things. Everything you have to see. So you are managing in that way the classrooms. And workshop also. See, workshop again, you have heavy equipments, and some equipments need lubrication, and you have to pour lubricating oil and all. When pouring the lubricating oil, then sometimes it may fall on the floor. Immediately you have to clean properly. Otherwise, somebody is crossing means then they may slip on the floor. So to avoid all those things, workshop management is very important. You have to manage the workshop properly, and the cleanliness is very important. And the equipments also have to be maintained properly in working conditions. So these are the managerial responsibilities. Then workshop management and housekeeping. Under workshop management and housekeeping, you have few sub headings like practical skill and arranging tools and equipments. Then workshop layout and safety, convenience, safety, workshop layout, safety and convenience. Then housekeeping, that is cleanliness, maintenance of the equipments, lighting and ventilation, and scrap disposal. So let us see each and every term again detailedly. So under workshop management, see, workshop management is one of the important topics which is coming under this unit. Under workshop management, you have these lessons in your syllabus. Practical skill, arranging tools and equipments. So you, as an instructor, you have the responsibility to impart skill, knowledge and skill. So when you demonstrate the skill, you require equipments, standard equipments are available. That has to be maintained properly, and you have to check whether the items are working properly or not. If it is not working, then you have to rectify that problem. Then impart practical skill. For imparting practical skill, for example, your trade is related to computer, then you have computer systems, and you have printers and plotter or any other devices which is related to your trade. Your trade is garment related, means cutting and sewing or dressmaking, means you have sewing machines, and sewing machines also there are different types of machines, embroidery machines. For that you need thread, a lot of types of threads and types of needles. You have so many scissors, so many tools you require. So to conduct a practical demonstration, your required tools and equipments has to be arranged properly and arranged systematically. If you keep all the drafting tools and cutting tools in a bag, how you will pick up the needles, how do you pick up the threads properly? So in a systematic manner, you have to arrange. So arrangement of tools, equipments, consumable items, raw materials are very important in practical skill. We'll see some workshops, how they have arranged systematically the tool boxes and other equipments. Then workshop layout and safety, convenience. So if you have workshop like lathe machine or milling, drilling machines and all, you know very well, these are very heavy equipments. It cannot be placed in first floor or second floor. If an institute has multi floors, that is first floor and second floor, you can find only computer equipments, computer related trades in the first or second floors. All the heavy equipments related trades related to heavy equipments and all will be kept in the ground floor. So everything is as per the convenience, because lifting is very difficult and movement also very difficult, and it also creates a noise pollution, which leads to noise pollution and vibrations and all and all. And safety is very important. And if you have computer equipments, and in an orderly manner you have to, because it require AC power supply and cables and all you require, and internet cables you require. So everything, the cables and all should be installed properly, so that a person who is moving here and there will be conveniently moving without any disturbance. So that convenience you have to see when arranging the tools and equipments in the workshop. So for that, layout itself very important. In the beginning, you are preparing a layout to place the tools and equipments properly. Then housekeeping, the very important element of workshop management is housekeeping. Housekeeping means we are keeping the, in our house cleaning activity, what we will do, we'll keep the equipments. If we go to kitchen, then kitchen items, utensils, and whatever ingredients required and all, now in an orderly manner, we will keep. And like that, if it is in a hall or living room, you can see the furniture. So everything will be cleaned. At the same way, our training institutions also. So housekeeping is not only for our house, it is also applicable for the training institution. So if it is a classroom, it has to be, housekeeping has to be maintained properly. And if it is a workshop or practical hall or lab, there also housekeeping has to be maintained properly. So housekeeping includes few important elements like cleanliness, maintenance, lighting, ventilation, and disposing of the scrap materials. And color dynamics also one of the importance of housekeeping. Colors, some equipment are dangerous, so trainees should not go closer to that. So you have some mesh or paint also will be there. So red color means danger. Don't go closer to that, like that. And green color means okay, safe, like that. So cleanliness means what? Very, very important element of housekeeping is cleanliness. So we have to see our classroom every time, now and then cleaned. Every day it is cleaned, and trainees also should have the responsibility to clean their equipments after once they use the system. If they have the cover, they have to close the monitor and keyboard so that dust will not accumulate on the keyboard. Then like that, sieving machine, if you use a sieving machine, you can remove the needles, threads, and you can keep the respective places and clean it. Your waste garments you can clean and dispose it properly. And if it is mechanical related trade, after removing the metals like lathe machine, milling, drilling machines, if you use, then you have to make the trainees the responsibility of cleaning the equipment and disposing it properly. Sometimes I have seen on an industry, there are brass metal and stainless steel and aluminum. So they have kept the aluminum wastage as separate box, and brass wastage separate box, and stainless steel separate box, so that the scrap, when they collect the scraps, it is easy for them to collect properly. If you keep all these scraps together, then the value will not be proper, because aluminum value is different from brass value and the steel value. So when you dispose properly, there are a system of proper system we have to follow whenever we condemn the condemnation of equipments. If the equipment is not used for so many years, and you have purchased this 30-40 years before, 20 years before, means you have as per the rule, you can condemn the item. It is not in use and outdated. You are also getting the certificate from the manufacturer that this item is outdated. So you can condemn you can recommend for condemnation. That is also a very important responsibility. So these are all coming under housekeeping. So the practical skill, arranging tools and equipments, workshop layout, safety, convenience and housekeeping and all coming in the workshop management. Hope you have understood this workshop management and housekeeping topic. Let us see the next topic. Before that, you can see housekeeping is the key to safety. So safety consciousness is very important. Next slides you will see safety, importance of safety and some safety slogans also. So we can find some factories, some safety slogans like there is no holiday for safety. So Saturday, Sunday is holiday, but for safety, there is no holiday. Like that, some slogans are there. Safety begins with yes, but starts with you. So we have to start and have to maintain the safety. Like that, some safety slogans are there. We will see. So good housekeeping is the key to safety. These kind of posters you can keep in the practical labs or workshops. So fire safety equipments also. Every institution we have the fire safety equipments, and we also should train the trainees how to use the equipment. Sometimes we can call the experts, fire engineers or fire officers. We can ask them to demonstrate it. Though it is easy to follow the descriptions, but it is always safe to ask the experts and demonstrate this kind of fire safety equipments. So this also very important equipment which has to be kept in every institution, and every institution we have that. And we also must train the trainees how to use this. When a situation comes to operate the equipment, we must also demonstrate how to use this so that they will be alert. Then maintenance. So we have discussed in housekeeping maintenance. Again, we'll see detailedly. There are two types of maintenance. See, first picture you can see related to garment sector. One person is oiling. So oiling is very important, lubricating the parts of the moving machine. Then also cleaning. So cleaning, for floor cleaning, you have broomstick. For cleaning equipment or keyboards or any precision equipments, you have a respective tool to clean that. So this is also one of the important tool to clean the sewing machine. You see, both are related to sewing technology sector. So maintenance, which is coming under maintenance. So there are two types of maintenance. One is the preventive maintenance. The other one is the corrective maintenance. Preventive maintenance is, we know very well, prevention is better than cure. That means before facing the problem, we will be alert. We will prevent it. We'll try to prevent it. So preventive maintenance is before going out of order. An equipment is going out of order or which is not in working condition, which is not working means what we'll do, we'll try to see the problem. If we can't solve it, if we can't, we are not able to rectify that, then we have to call the technician. We have to call the computer engineers or this kind of sewing machine technicians, related equipment expert, we have to call service engineers. That is called corrective maintenance. So before going out of order, we have to clean it and see systematically everything is properly, kept, and shut down the system. These are all coming in a preventive maintenance. So we are using the sewing machine regularly every day or at least once in 2 days means no problem. We are not using for 2-3 months, then the equipment will not work properly. So that is coming under preventive maintenance before going out of order. And after going out of order, we are maintaining the equipment properly, but sometimes it may tend to give problems that may not work. That time we have to call the service engineer to solve the problem. That is coming under corrective maintenance after going out of order. Before going out of order, after going out of order. Then coming to the next learning outcome, that is 5 years quality concept. So we are following so many concepts. For our skill ecosystem, we are following National Skill Qualification Framework. It is one concept. Following the NSQ framework is a concept. For curriculum, for the syllabus, for the reference books, for the training activities, and for the testing and evaluation and certification. This framework we are following. This is one concept. Like that, for quality also, we are following. We can follow this 5 years quality concept, which has been introduced by Japanese. So this quality, by seeing the benefit of this 5 years quality concepts, see, so many people are getting benefited. So everybody whom and all using this 5 years quality concept, there will be an advantage, particularly in workshops. What are the advantages? Let us see. First, let us see what is 5 years quality concept. Then we will see the advantage. 5 years for workshop organization, workplace organization. The fundamental principle of 5 years is to increase the productivity and generate product flow through the value stream by a disciplined and focused effort on eliminating waste. See, if you have any production company or even training institution, there will be three important things happen. That is input, process, output. Like a system, computer system, input, process, output. In industry, a manufacturing industry will get input, then they will process, then product will be the output. Like that, any workplace organization will have input, process, output. So to avoid the wastages, if more wastages are there, means your profit will be less. Sometimes you will not get any profit, loss will be there. So to eliminate the waste, you can follow this 5 years principle. And disciplined manner if you follow, and your profit also, not only eliminating the wastages, but also profit. The efficiency will increase, the profit will increase, so that the productivity also will increase. For that purpose, this 5 years concept we can use or apply. This 5 years concept quality parameters of workplace organization methodology uses a list of 5 Japanese words. So initially we can also translate in English, but these 5 years parameters, quality parameters are introduced by Japanese language, Japanese. So it is in Japanese language. Let us see those terms or those words: seiri, seitan, seishu, seiketsu, and shitsuke. These are the 5 words. Let us see the translated version in English. So sort. Seiri means what? Sorting it. So we are getting some items from the stores. What will do a storekeeper or an instructor? If it comes to your trade, then your responsibility. If it comes to the general store, so it is the responsibility of the storekeeper to sort it out, sorting the item. This belong to this trade, this belong to this trade, and these items are belong to this particular trade. So he will sort out the items. So sorting out is what is needed and get rid of what is not. Which is required, we will have. Which is not required, we need not to buy, we need not to purchase, so that we can avoid by spending our money. So sort is seiri, and seitan means set. The storekeeper received the items. So what he will do, then he will set. Raw materials means here, equipment means here, tools means there, and consumable means there. So setting in its respective place in an orderly manner only, set. So in Japanese language, seitan. So seitan means set. A place for everything and everything in its place. A place for everything and everything in its place, so that easily it can be accessible. So if we set the items properly, and it is very easy to access those items. And seiso is the third parameter in quality, 5 years quality concept. Seiso means shine. So shine is cleanliness, clean and maintained, so always looks like new. So if you keep an item every time clean, neatly, and if you maintain it properly and clean it, then the item looks very fresh and new, so that anybody will be happy to use the item regularly. So shine is seiso, that is clean and maintained, so always looks like new. It may be your system, computer system, or it may be your mobile phone, or it may be your sewing machine. According to our trade, you have a lot of equipments, tools, and machinery items. So if you clean it properly, maintain it properly, and it looks always new and shine. So this seisu is shine. That is the third 5 years quality parameter. Then the fourth 5 years quality parameter is seiketsu. Seiketsu means standardize. make it a standard and follow discipline. So as I told you, which gives you 100% success in life? The knowledge we are imparting, the skill we are imparting, and so many things are there in life, gold, money, land, property, and all. So you allot every alphabet one number from A to Z. So which gives you 100% success in life? The attitude. And I told you one more term, that one more word is discipline. So in a disciplined manner, any work if we do, that gives a 100% success. So that's why to make it the standard and follow the discipline, that is very important. Every worker in a company, the management will see they are very disciplined. They are disciplined people, and in a disciplined manner, my company is working. Like that, we have to follow this standard. Seiketsu means standard. Make it the standard and follow discipline. Then sustain, that is Shitsuke. Shitsuke means sustain. That is the fifth 5S quality parameter. So Shitsuke means sustain. Audit the system and improve it. So in ISO, International Standard Organization, will give certificates for the quality standards. So even one of the previously it started with the products only, then process, then also auditing system. So auditing system also international standards are there. So we have to follow that. How it will be international standard or best quality, your product should be good, your process also should be good, and auditing also should be good. You are not spending too much of property or grant, and you are with the help of minimum expenditure, you are using the equipments properly, and you are showing the good output, more output and more profit. Means your auditing system will show that you are doing a wonderful job in a disciplined manner, and your input process output is very good. So auditing is very important. So audit the system means what? Checking properly, time to time check the thing, and you have internal auditors as well as the external auditors. So audit the system and improve it. For what purpose? Tests and evaluation and all, like auditing, to improve our standard. So these are the 5 important quality parameters under 5S principle. This one. So in Japanese, seiri, in English, sort. Saitan means set in order. Seiso means shine. Seiketsu means standardize, and Shitsuke means sustain. So these are the important terms of 5S quality concepts. Then I told you the maintenance. We are keeping the equipments in an orderly manner. If you see one mechanical automobile garage, you might have seen some automobile garages, a small garage or a big garage. So there you may find so many spanners. So one fellow will, one senior technician will ask the junior fellow, hey, you bring that number spanner. Immediately he will go and bring it. How it's possible? Because in a tool board, everything will be arranged systematically. You see here how the spanners are arranged here, how the screwdrivers are arranged here, and some places they will mark here. One new fellow coming means, so he need not struggle to pick up the item or the tool. So everything will be mentioned here, even numbers also. Here cutting pliers, different kinds of types of cutting pliers, different types of spanners and screwdrivers, hammers, and adjusting gauge. You can find so many tools are there. So if you have a board and keep it like this, and it will be very easy to access. According to your trade, you may have a lot of raw materials, lot of consumable items. So you may have a separate places or box or maybe a tool board to access all those items. And you see the shop floor. It is a shop floor where you can find heavy machinery items, equipments, and there are some yellow color line you can see. So here the operator will move here, but others should not move here. Somebody's walking and they have to follow this path only, not other than that. So that is the purpose. This yellow mark is there, and you can see how broad accessibility, and every equipment you have space. And you see by this photograph, you can see it's very clean, and it looks like a new workshop. So shop floor is, and also very important, you can notice, lightning and ventilation, very important. And the safety measures. So next part is safety measures. Safety is very, very important, along with the process or manufacturing activity. They have to follow this safety also, like their along with their process. So for that, some safety slogans are there. Whether you are at the work or home or at play, safety always plays very important role. So it comes first, always be in the front of our mind. So following are some safety slogans which you can remember. You have to keep, in your memory, some safety slogans. A casual attitude towards safety, casualty. So casually, if we work with the heavy equipments and all, then it leads to injury. That is why a casual attitude towards safety, casualty. Accidents hurts, safety does not. So if we are safe, then accident won't. Then a wound neglected is a wound infected. A wound neglected is a wound infected. So if you don't want any wound, then you should not neglect safety. That is the meaning. Do your work with pride. Put safety in every stride. So we will feel very proud. We can feel proud that we are following the safety in our working environment. Don't be a fool. Use the proper tool. We have to use proper tool for every activity, every respective activities. One tool is there, I will adjust with that tool, means then it won't be a good work, and it leads to minor or major accidents. So don't be a fool, use proper tool. Safety starts with S, but begin with U. So safety, you see the safety word, SAFETY, yes, it starts with S, but begins with Y. So we have to follow that. It begins with us. And there is no holiday for safety also. As I told you, and few more very important slogans are there in Hindi, any language. You have so many safety slogans, and you can keep in your workshops. And you see here safety and signboards, safety and signboards. So these signboards are very important in traffic rules. If you want to get your driving license, you have to write the written test, and you have to perform the driving test, practical test. So in written test, you will find these traffic signals, like a narrow bridge ahead means you will find a narrow bridge, and school ahead, school symbol will be there. One boy will have the school bag. Like that, so many symbols and signboards are there for safety also. So we can keep according to our nature of our environment, or factory, or our training institution, workshops. We can keep safety signboards like this. Toxic hazard means we can keep like this. Risk of ionizing radiation, like this. Risk of fire means like this. Then corrosive substance means like this. Then risk of explosion means like this. Then likewise, and you can see gloves and hand gloves and shoes and Google cap and all we can display, so that a person who is entering will enter along with this. So safety signboards. So with this, it is end.